So if you don't have a class set, what can you do? Well, first of all, what do we mean by a class set? I think that really kind of means rods, enough rods for all students. Well, one thing is that you could just consider investing in getting a single large box. So this is an example of a big box. You can get them second-hand as well. One of my happiest days was when I went to the town of Salisbury nearby and went to a second-hand shop, and they had this amazing box of vintage rods in there, very, very cheaply. And I was just delighted. So you can get hold of a large set, and a large set will give you enough. You don't have to have them for everyone. There are smaller boxes as well that you can get, plastic boxes like these, which will have sets of rods in for students. You can still do quite a lot of things with just a small set. But what you can also do is you could choose, if you've got the overhead projector, as I showed in the webinar, you can get overhead projector rods. So you could get one set of those that the whole class is going to be able to see. And you can also get ones, if you see I've got a whiteboard behind me, magnetic whiteboard rods are also available. And that would mean that you could use those with your students. So students can also use as a substitute their own pencils and pens, felt tips, and then do that. Now, so there are lots of ways you can get around not having a full class set. You can also use completely different alternatives like pasta shapes or Lego. Many students have Lego, and sometimes that can be easier to get hold of. So if you are teaching 100% online and you're not in a face-to-face classroom, what can you do? Well, hopefully in this webinar, you've seen that you can do some things yourself. So you as a teacher can demonstrate by holding rods up to your camera, or if you're lucky and you've got a second camera, again, I should get paid some marketing fees, but I have sort of something very similar like this, just a little camera that can move around. And that means I can demonstrate something on a table in front of me, which kind of allows me to make the online classroom a bit more similar using a visualizer to model things to students. Again, if you're not in a face-to-face classroom, you just need to give students a warning, and you need to say, today we're going to look at some patterns. Bring your felt tip pens, have those next to you with the computer, have some paper. If they have Lego, they could also use that. Obviously, the perfect world is where you get to do a bit online and a bit face-to-face, because you can make use of rods in both those situations.